Hello everyone. I recently went on a trip to Grantham in England where Margaret Thatcher grew up and was born. I wanted to find out a little bit about her legacy in the town and what was there really, just to see it. I got interested in visiting after reading her biography, The Path to Power and the Downing Street Years. This one, it's not as hard as it looks. I'm not a huge fan of Margaret Thatcher, and I'm not even really an avid Conservative, but I started to get interested in her after I heard that she was the daughter of a grocer, and that she was the first Prime Minister to not accept her full pay packet. When she was promoted from Cabinet Minister to Prime Minister, she kept on her Cabinet Minister's salary and just let the government keep the rest of it. And since then, no Prime Minister has kept the full Prime Minister's salary, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's before that, all I'd heard about her was the milk snatching and the miners and the Falklands War. And I'm not going to really talk about any of those things. Those are political matters that I'm sure you can research yourself if you're interested in them. I was just interested in her as a person, not particularly as a Prime Minister, just because her personality seemed interesting to me.
This is where Margaret Thatcher lived. Her father owned this shop. She lived above it, in the flat up there. It's there's a plaque, but there's no other sort of commemoration. Apparently when she lived here there was no hot water and no indoor toilet. It was pretty meagre background for a Prime Minister, but I think she was proud about her beginnings. She wasn't an aristocrat like a lot of Prime Ministers. It's a shame there's no commemoration except for the plaque.
The Grantham Museum has quite a large exhibit of her life, going from when she was born in Grantham through her school years, university years, and her term as Prime Minister, her 3 terms as Prime Minister. I really like this quote about socialism and running out of other people's money. It's not actually an exact quote, they've misquoted it slightly on this sign, but I almost wanted to make an entire video about it just because I loved it so much. She was very much anti-socialist, and she talks about reading Milton Friedman's Road to Serfdom when she was in university, and how much she was influenced by Milton Friedman's theories of economics. There's a picture of her opening the M25, very famous motorway that runs all the way around London. I really like this photograph of Maggie sitting on the sofa. She looks so comfy with her feet tucked up under her. Some people wanted to put up a statue of Margaret Thatcher in Grantham outside the museum in the main town square, just next to a statue of Isaac Newton, who was also born here. Which do you prefer, the Bridge of the Enterprise Thatcher or the boring one? Let me know in the comments. This is the suit she was wearing when she went to Moscow. It was a Russian journalist who gave her the name Iron Lady. I won't try to pronounce the Russian phrase that means Iron Lady, but you can see it there. There was a little polling station and you could cast a vote as if you were voting in the 1979 general election where Margaret Thatcher first came to power. And there was even a place where you could dress up as Margaret Thatcher. There were a few other hats there as well. Grantham's quite a sweet town. I liked visiting it. I did go into the Conservative Club to ask about Margaret Thatcher. She said that she was never a member because she was a woman and probably too young at the time when she was living in Grantham anyway. I asked them about what happened to their sign, and they said that some Labour supporters they spray painted some graffiti along the wall that said "Tory cuts kill," which they cleaned up, but they didn't clean up the sign. That's about all I have to say about Grantham and Margaret Thatcher. Let me know what you think about this new video format. Of course, it's not the kind of thing I can do all the time. I could perhaps do more historic tours of Britain if you're interested in that sort of thing. I certainly learned a lot by reading up on Margaret Thatcher and going to Grantham, so I hope that you have learned a few things by watching this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you again very soon.